This is Sybert signing into Red Alert 3 on the map pool party for a 2v2 with our team on the left side in the yellow playing Soviets. It's Dimon, his ally from Team NACL. It's Happy. He's blue and allies, while in the top right is the red allies from Teammates. It's, Vindies in here. While in the south, his ally on the right side, playing as green from Teammates, it's Eminence. That's right, Soviet allies versus allies empire. I know, guys, we can't get away from the double allies play, but at least it's not a four-way allied mirror or anything like that. Eminence and Dimon going to be mixing things up with their empire and Soviet play, respectively. Vindy's going to be losing his dog right over there. Sometimes, if you're quick enough, you can go ahead and grab the engineer of your opponent to lock that down and cause them a little bit of trouble. Be a little bit mean to them. Make them a little bit unhappy. But it's not going to be happening for these players. I know we all wanted to see engineers getting sniped early on by dogs because dogs are just so adorable. But it's not going to be happening. Dogs are slightly less adorable when they're ripping your face off or when you're the player losing an engineer to them. But that doesn't change the fact that we're not seeing it, and dogs are still adorable. At the same time, that poor conscript just got murderized. As we do have these players going for I don't know what, we got a War Factory coming out from Dimon. That is going to be before Super Reactor, it looks like, and it is indeed going to be before that expansion. Bullfrog's coming on out because he's up against an allied player, while it's going to be airfield first before that expand. But Happy is no noob. He's keeping that barracks around. He doesn't know what Eminence is going to be doing. Eminence could be going for any number of things, but it is going to be that MCV move before, or rather, after that Mecha Bay gets thrown down. And I'm not actually sure. What did he move his MCV to? Well, how can I not find an MCV? Guys, I'm not crazy, right? Did he sell it? There's no way he sold. Wait, why can I not see it? It's right there. This is just a weird place for an MCV, but there's the barracks. Wow. There's the refinery. I mean, I know I haven't casted games in a little while, but seriously, that was ludicrous. As we do have Happy going to be moving out. A couple of Apollos heading out across the map, most likely just for scouting and in case there's any stray Tengus hanging around. But Eminence, he went straight pretty much for that tier 2. He's not going to be getting caught out with any Tengus. He went straight up for those Chopper VXs, rather Striker VXs while they're on the ground. Terror Drone running around as well, helping out those Bullfrogs just to keep themselves unhappy. Going to be looking to clear out a couple of these buildings. He doesn't want Eminence to get anything done. I'm not actually sure where those beacons got thrown down, but Dimon was just like, hey, something's happening. Something is really, really happening, and I want everyone to know about it right here, right now. I mean, it doesn't look like there's cryocopters going on or anything like that. Third refinery getting established for Dimon, and of course, pretty much everyone at this point, maybe not Happy, has a third expansion up and rocking. I'm not exactly... Wait, no, there we go. Yeah, everyone, I think, does have a third expansion up and rolling, which is great for everyone. Eminence may be looking to take a fourth relatively quickly here. Chopper VX is moving up north. There's that potential fourth expansion for Eminence, going to be looking for the water. And Vindies, he just wants to clear out his half of the map. He wants to make sure that nothing too crazy is going to be going on. Happy looking to push forward. He's got a couple of rocket troopers, not rocket troopers. He's got a couple of peacekeepers inside of that building. At the same time, Dimon is going to be looking to push back the Riptide Peacekeeper combo from Vindies. And there the Tengus do transform. They manage with the Chopper VXs to get a kill on that Vindicator, which is quite nice for Eminence. He doesn't want to be leaving any extra Vindicators to harass him if he can help it. So clearing out a couple of Vindicators here and there is going to be really quite nice for him as the game does progress. Of course, Vindicators, once they start ranking up, they can do so much more damage. Targeting down the Bullfrogs is Vindies, as he wants to scare away that army pretty much as quickly as he can. He wants to make room for... Actually, apparently he doesn't have cryocopters. Those are indeed 4 Vindicators going to be coming up in the south. We do have more Tengus going to be just attacking those bases, those buildings, rather. And there's the naval yard. Doesn't look like Tier 2 has been purchased just yet for Vindies. He potentially is going Tier 2 right at this very moment. Eminence could very well be getting out. That would have been so sick if that refinery got infected as soon as it popped out, just like instantly, basically dead. As that would have been a really nice grab for Dimon, but Eminence is too good for that. He's not going to be letting that happen. Vindies pushing forward, using his multi-gunner turret just to help him push back the Soviet menace that is Dimon. And there's the 4th refinery coming up for both of our players on the right side of the map. While on the left side of the map, there's refinery number 4. And Dimon, he's having a little bit of trouble establishing himself in the middle of the map. He does have that 4th refinery as well as all players getting up in that eco. But at the same time, he can't really hold on to it, as unfortunately for him, Eminence is going to be harassing at least a little bit here. Twin Blades are going to be coming in. Tengus are going to be getting forced to pull back. And on top of that, a multi-gunner turret does get thrown down by Happy. But that Terror Drone is going to be locking one of the Tengus in place just to make sure that it doesn't run away. It's not able to transform on out of there and escape. Dimon, he's got that tier 2 up for quite a while. He's got that airfield. Is he actually going to be eventually going for the tier 3, or are we going to be seeing him mostly try to make his way with hammer tanks in this game? Of course, he can go Twin Frog as a pretty viable combination. Twin Blade Bullfrog is powerful indeed, and another power plant needs to go ahead and get deployed there. Happy, on the other hand, could be looking to be pretty happy in this game if he's able to secure himself a 5th expansion. He's starting to creep forward a little bit further and a little bit further. He's got that tier 2, which means Guardian tanks are a possibility, but potentially more importantly, cryocopters are a possibility for him. Vindies, I'm not sure if he actually has too many cryocopters out on the field. He's got 2 of them right here. They're up on the front lines, going to be freezing down a couple of these hammer tanks, allowing his peacekeepers to do just that extra bit of damage. At the same time, the Twin Frog from Dimon can't actually choose where to engage because you got to be a little bit careful. There's not a ton of Apollos out on the map. There may not actually be any Apollos out on the map, as there is 4 Vindicators. Could go ahead and clean up a couple of these hammer tanks. They clean up 1 hammer tank. A couple of more Vindicators could be looking to pick off some more units, but there's going to be the Badger Bomber's Desolator airstrike dropping down its toxins to try to negate that army and keep it away. But Vindies is able to push on through, get around that toxins, and able to push forward. But is he going to be able to do too much damage, because all of his peacekeepers on the north side are getting locked down by that bear, unfortunately for him. At the same time, Happy going to be doing a little bit of damage, not really able to push too far forward. As you can see, a huge swarm of Empire units going to be able to clean up whatever forces Happy actually had in the south there. At the same time, Twin Blade Bullfrog going to be getting pushed out onto the water. They're going to be looking for another angle of approach, potentially trying to swing around, maybe clip off the wings of these cryocopters. Vindicators coming up to the front lines. They're not going to be going for a bombing run just yet, but at the same time, Cryo Blast does fire off potentially just Cryo Shot, as Tsunami tanks are rushing forward to the front lines here. A couple of Tsunami tanks getting their the nano machine, whatever it's called, nano deflectors ability activated, and going to be able to absorb a couple of more shots there. Both Guardian tanks do get eliminated, with those Vindicators going to be very helpful to Eminence in making this attack actually work. At the same time, 1 Cryocopter does go down, and a couple of Apollos are here to deal with the Tengus. At the same time, we do have so many Tsunami tanks just eating away at this armor facility, going to be eliminated in the war factory of our blue Empire player, or blue Allied player, Happy rather, as our Empire player pushes on forward. He's got to be careful with those Tsunami tanks. Can he actually get them to safety? Yes, indeed he can. And on top of that, the MCV isn't actually going to be able to get any good crushes on those units. As you can see, he just pulls them all over to the water, because Eminence, he knows what he's doing. He's going to be pulling... Oh, don't get too close with those Tsunami tanks. No, the reverse move is not fast enough. 1, maybe 2 of these units will be getting crushed, as one of the Chopper VXs gets crushed in the force there. But at the same time, Dimon is going to be pushing forward in the North Wire. Rather, it looks like 1, maybe 2 of the hammer tanks ended up getting grabbed, but if 2 of them were grabbed, 1 of them have been eliminated. Cryocopter is going to be making it difficult for Dimon to actually do anything, as bombing runs coming in here. 1 Vindicator does go down, a second one almost getting eliminated, but it looks like the Bullfrogs are going to be able to push on through. There's not a lot of Tsunami tanks left, as this attack has been mostly thwarted by Happy. I'm not sure if the Tsunami tanks actually got pulled back to help deal with this attack in the north. It doesn't look like that's necessarily what happened. At the same time, we do have more and more Vindicators trying to get those bombing runs out, trying to deal with these hammer tanks. Can they actually clean anything up? 1 more Vindicator did go down. These Bullfrogs, they may be shrunk down, but they're still doing a bit of damage, and it's enough to clean up a couple of these Vindicators. More and more Cryocopters are not going to be able to do too much, because there's only 2 of them out on the field for Vindies, it looks like. And Vindies is just getting absolutely trashed. This Soviet menace is actually pushing forward, able to do some good damage. The last Bullfrog, which is heroic, does end up getting frozen, and Vindies can actually target down this last Bullfrog, so then the Cryocopters can start freezing these other units. No, the bear does go ahead and get the kill, and actually that hammer tank finally cleans up the IFV as well, keeping this Bullfrog safe at least for now. And that Bullfrog is actually kind of a kingpin here, as actually does get cleaned up there. And that hammer tank is not going to be able to escape, not with 2 Cryocopters sitting right above it, although they are freezing 2 different units. Twin Blades on the right side of the map. East side of the map is what I should have said. They do clean up one of those harvesters. Not too big of a deal. But these cryocopters, they're going to be getting shot up. One does go down, although one of these Apollos may actually be getting eliminated. It does go down. The second one does manage to escape in narrowly. Is able to just make it on out of there. That dog is going to be ensuring that there's no expansion there for Eminence. Eminence still sitting on those 4 refineries, and it looks like technically Vindy is sitting on 4 refineries as well. But actually, he might have this harvester back up and running. No, not quite. He's just sitting on those 3 refinery economy. Dimon, on the other hand, he's going to be rocking that 4 refineries just fine. He's going to be very happy about that. And of course, as our blue allied player, Happy is going to be extremely excited that he's been able to keep a hold of his 4 refineries as well. Doesn't look like any player is taking a 5th refinery just yet, but there's the first Terror Drone, in fact, potentially of this entire game. Vindy should be able to get the repairs on that. There's the Badger Bombers going to be dropping their Desolator Airstrike Toxins on top of that. Guardian Tank will be able to get repairs and get out of range of those toxins, which means not too much more trouble for Vindy's to deal with as long as he pauses production on that War Factory. Doesn't like too many more units on out of there to get eaten up by those toxins. Tengus and VXs are out on the map for Eminence. He's going to be able to clean up that building without too much trouble. And it looks like he's just pumping out more and more units. Tengus out on the game. I'm not actually sure if he's going to be going for anything else. Well, he's going to be going for a 5th refinery, finally getting that eco, that last step of the eco up and running, as really in most cases you don't go to 5 refineries, but at the same time you go even fewer times to 6 refineries in a game. Even in a team game, you don't necessarily go up to 6 refineries all that often. A couple of Guardian tanks are going to be getting absolutely destroyed by the Hammer tanks, and team left side is going to be pushing forward in the north, but at the same time this may open up an opportunity for these Tengus and VXs of Eminence to push forward and do some really massive damage. Is it going to be a bit of a base trade scenario where each team eliminates one player from the other team? It could very well be that exact thing, as MiGs swing in here. They're going to be, the MiG Apollo combo is going to be just too powerful for any of the straight-up forces, although with this many Tengus, and then on top of that, they've got point defense drones. 2 of the MiGs go down, 3 and number 4 go down as well. The transform does indeed happen. 1 Bullfrog does get trapped. A 2nd Bullfrog gets trapped as well. The Hammer tanks will be able to deal with the Tengus, but now that the Striker VXs are here, there's no Bullfrogs to clear the skies, and these Hammer tanks are sorely outgunned in this battle. And when you're talking about stuff that shoots down versus stuff that doesn't shoot up, it's of course always going to be turning out pretty well. It does look like the Tesla coil does get thrown down there, but almost choking on my own saliva there, as we do have just a ton of action in this game. Vindy's doing what he can to clean up the ridiculous amount of cryocopters which are out on this field. Goodbye, Apollo fighter. He does not manage to escape, as the Tesla coil will be able to hold strong in the north versus the forces, but this is so many infantry reinforcements coming up here for Eminence. This game is just getting absolutely out of control, as we do have another refinery going down for Dimon, almost on top of that Tesla coil. The Conyard never went quite to that tier 3, which means there's no Athena cannons, there's no Aegis shield to help mitigate the damage from this incoming attack. More infantry pouring up from the south as just constant reinforcements are streaming their way across the map from Eminence. He's trying to help his buddy out in the north. Happy does throw down a couple of beacons there. I'm not exactly sure what he's trying to ping, what he's trying to tell us in the past, but as it stands, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, did I say 6 earlier? I'm not actually sure if I said 6, but there's that 5th. Oh, the War Factory does get targeted down just to absorb a couple of extra shots. Vindicators coming in, able to eliminate that Tesla coil before the infantry actually get on top of this. And now the MCV is going to be getting forced to push forward into this engagement. The Hammer tanks are going to be waiting for the MCV to tank a little bit more of the damage. But here come the Imperial Warriors. They're going to be trying to clean up as many of the bears as they can. Of course, the Tank Busters are the real damage dealers. Can this MCV actually get any incredible crushes off? There's going to be the Cryo Gwyn firing off for Vindies. He's going to be trying to keep away as many of the Soviet forces as he can, but at the same time, there is going to be the Hammer tank laser painting that MCV just so it takes a little bit more damage. Or Vindicators coming in here for Vindies. Are they going to be able to bomb away these Hammer tanks? I should think yes. They do clean up one Hammer tank, do a little bit of more damage to another Hammer tank. Goodbye, MCV. And on top of that, there's still a couple of more Chopper VXs in the sky on top of all of these units going down. One more Bullfrog gets eliminated, and this one heroic Chopper VX is going to be just carving a path for victory in the north, but they've won the battle. Can they win the war, as this game still rages on in the south. Mass cryocopters swing forward, and goodbye that one Chopper VX. I don't think that was a heroic Chopper VX. Let's hope it was not, because that guy is an absolute hero. Eminence is forced to pull off from the water, but these cryocopters, they can't actually kill anything. They're just a million cryocopters by themselves. They do have a couple of indicators, but they're not dropping the bombs that they need to actually clean up these buildings. Apollo's going to be going to try to focus down these Vindicators. They won't be able to kill that many cryocopters with just one Apollo, but they can definitely scare away these Vindicators. The cryocopters heading along down the right side of the map, trying to find an open area to attack in. There's that heroic Chopper VX. He's getting himself some repairs, and actually these Chopper VXs might be able to get some nice shots off. One cryocopter does go down, a second one does get eliminated, a third maybe going down to the Apollo. Goodbye, number 3. Goodbye, potentially number 4, as one does get peeled off. Number 4 does get eliminated, and this Apollo fighter has like 3 cryocopter kills by itself, which is a pretty big deal in the big scheme of things. Considering how many of those cryocopters just went down. A fully heroic and a double vet elite Striker VX do exist in this game. At the same moment in time, we've got Vindicators in the north making their bombing runs happening. They are indeed bombing away a couple of the hammer tanks of his opponent, as Dimon is going to be getting pushed back here. Or rather, not pushed back, but rather stalled. The wall swag of Eminence is pretty impressive here, as he's dropping down those walls just to delay Dimon in this game. Whew, this game is just absolutely ridiculous as it stretches on to even greater lengths, as this action is just not stopping. More Vindicator bombing runs coming in, but it looks like Happy is the one dropping bombs now, and the cryocopters trying to freeze down the MCV, but they don't have quite enough units here to just clean this up. There's too many multi-gunner turrets, there's too many Empire units, and Happy has been pushed back once again. Eminence and Vindies hold the line, but Dimon and Happy are still in this game. Although Happy may not be in a great position economically, he was able to clean up that refinery of Eminence, and a lot of these refineries are going to be getting pretty low on the resources. 10 grand left there, 9,000 on another one, and oh, what are you doing? Oh, those Striker VXs, and on top of that, 3 Vindicators also went down. 2 fully heroic Striker VXs. They are trapped behind enemy lines. They may be able to escape, but these Bullfrogs are hot on their heels trying to chase them down. No, Striker VXs run on out of there. Can they actually get away? Maybe, maybe not. There's Bullfrogs on one side. There's Apollos on the other side. Goodbye, 1 heroic Chopper VX. Goodbye, a second heroic Chopper VX, as one of the Apollos ends up going heroic, and 4 of those Tengus all get eliminated. Also, infantry just massively move in here. Cryogeddon does fire off for Vindies, once again going to be able to just push back the forces of his Soviet opponent. The tank busters, can they actually get the shots off? There's so many hammer tanks, there's so many bears as he's going for the crush. The split is not good enough. The roar does indeed happen, cleaning up a number of these tank busters and javelin troopers, as well as just so many of this infantry units just get absolutely decimated here. Cryocopter does take a lot of damage, but Happy is able to escape with his cryocopter, push on forward, and Vindies also escapes with his cryocopter. That Bullfrog was not able to finish it off. Vindies has pushed forward once again. He's got that kind of forward armor facility, going to be giving him a nice reinforcement point and also a bit of a damage absorber if it comes down to it. The multi-gunner turret does get thrown down, but it's really just being sacrificed in this scenario. Dimon loses that refinery. Finally, it does end up going down, but he's still going to be sitting on that 4 refinery economy, which I believe all 4 of those harvesters are still alive. The Bears rush in. They do get a pretty all-right roar off. The second one is able to actually do a bit of damage there. There's the point defense drones firing off once again, but the infantry are going to be just getting absolutely destroyed here, as once again the hammer tanks crush through in great numbers and are just able to eliminate so many infantry units one after another. The Bears cleaning up a couple of tank busters and latent Empire units that got tossed into the fray. More Apollos coming in here to try to clean up cryocopter after cryocopter. It does go down. Happy loses 1, potentially 2 of his Apollos, as it does have just a bit of life left, and that 1 single javelin trooper, which was the hero of that battle, or at least of killing off that Apollo, does actually get cleaned up by the Bear. The Bear goes on to kill a tank buster as well. That Bear becoming a hero himself as he finally gets eliminated, and even that shrunk down Tengu is enough to clean up that single Bear. Hammer tanks at the same time, are they going to be able to do anything versus all of these units for Vindies? Well, all of these not units for Vindies, as actually it's just the Tengus which are in the air, trying to deal with the Apollos, trying to deal with the cryocopters, as well as Dimon pushes on forward. And Eminence, I mean, he's in a very awkward situation with his economy. He's kind of got a reasonable economy going on, 3 refineries, but I'm not actually sure if this harvester yet finally did get back on the line, get back to work, but he really needs to establish that 4th refinery, if at all possible, and get himself back onto that 4 refinery economy, where he's going to be a little bit more comfortable. He's going to have a little bit more money to spend to help out his ally. Going for the harassment, he is going to be forcing away that 1 ore collector, but it's not going to be enough. The Apollos are going to be able to get the kill on 1 of those Tangoos. The second Tango is able to escape, and Vindies just gets torn absolutely apart. Athena Cannon does get shrunk down, but that will allow it to escape from the flak troopers and also the hammer tanks. Tangoos rushing in here. They clean up almost that Apollo. They do get the cryocopter, and the Bullfrogs clean up the remainder of the Tangoos with the help of that Apollo fighter, now getting up to that heroic status. Vindicators coming in, dropping their bombs as well, and then Mecha Tango will escape, albeit barely. Oh, that poor Athena Cannon. Is he actually going to be pushing forward to try to get repairs on this Athena Cannon before the armor facility does get frozen? Is it going to be fast enough? No, it is not fast enough. The Aegis Shield fires off at the last possible second there, but it doesn't actually do anything, and on top of that, that Terror Drone does indeed get the kill on that Athena Cannon. There's the Cryogeddon firing off one more time, trying to freeze down his units. Eminence does unfortunately walk a couple of more units into that Cryogeddon, and the action of this game is just unbelievable, as it's pretty much non-stop for I don't even know how long. There's just been so much stuff going on. These 4 players just absolutely sledging each other with hit after hit. But we have been able to have a little bit of a respite here, as these players are going to be looking to push back into the fray a little bit. And nope, Hammer Tanks are just going to be pushing forward here. Not a whole lot that this small number of infantry can do versus this many Hammer Tanks, this many Cryocopters, even the Bear getting in on the action. That Tier 3 finally coming into more use than just a single Cryocopter or a single Athena Cannon, as the Cryocopters freeze down that Mirage tank, and tank busters coming on forward, walls getting thrown down. Eminence trying to buy as much time as he can. Another Athena Cannon does pop on out. Bears coming forward, and Dimon and Happy, they may be able to break this location. Can they actually do it? The Aegis Shield fires off for just a second there, and again, just great infantry crushes here with these hammer tanks. The infantries get so stacked up, but there's no Apollos here. One Apollo does show up at the last possible moment. There's only one Tangu left in the sky. It is going to be getting targeted down relatively quickly. There's only a couple of hammer tanks left, though. It looks like there may still be a Mirage tank somewhere. I'm not actually sure. That may have been a hammer tank with a Mirage weapon. It looks like it is indeed. And the hammer tank is going to be able to survive because the Cryocopters are able to freeze down that multi-gunner turret, but 3 Apollos are now here to push back the Cryocopter forces. And again, just so many Cryocopters from NACL. Happy has been able to do just so much damage with them, but now he's giving away 2 of them. A second one does go down. A third one potentially will be getting eliminated. And no, one Apollo will manage to escape on out of there. The Mecha Bay in the middle of the map, a nice reinforcement point for Eminence. Again, never really able to establish himself as much as he would have liked, but he's still holding on to pretty much most of his remaining expansion. They are getting down into the... Oh, wow, that one is actually down into the triple digits. No longer thousands of dollars left there. Only hundreds of dollars at a couple of these different spots. But again, these 2 teams are going to be regrouping. Do they actually have what it takes to finish the other team off? As I'm not actually sure. Now, the Blackout missile from the aircraft carrier may actually be enough to just signal the end of the game. We'll have to see if the Blackout missile causes some really good EMPs or if they're just sort of mediocre. It looks like the level 2 final squadron getting called in there for Eminence, and Dimon going to be pushing forward. He needs to make sure that he doesn't donate too many of these flak troopers away. The multi-gunner turret does go down, but at the same time, we do have we have exactly no units rushing forward. Ooh, even the Cryocopter ends up going down, and it looks... Air Forces trying to trade off. Again, air dominance going to be so important with these allied units. The Cryocopters being so important in a lot of these battles. Happy able to lock down so many units with his Cryocopters and eliminate so many different forces, buildings, and all sorts of stuff. Pretty alright. Blackout missile doesn't actually hit anything that's going to be killed off anytime soon. A couple of hammer tanks are going to be getting locked down for a couple of moments there, but not too big of a deal. Happy How is he doing, actually? I'm not sure. There's the command hub getting dropped down. He's going to be looking to expand out himself. And again, these players are getting to the point where they're pretty much out on resources. As you can see, refineries are starting to get depleted, or the orange, rather, are starting to get depleted. Oh, that heroic hammer tank does manage to escape from that cryogeddon. Tengu's infantry on the ground, as well as a couple of Mirage tanks mixed in. The Athena cannon getting some nice shots off, and this might be enough to finally break Dimon when Happy and Dimon were so close to actually just pushing back. Tengu's going to be cleaning up every one of those Apollos, and this could be what they need. The team on the right side, the Team East, can they actually break through Team West, as Dimon has been defeated, hands everything over to Happy, and Happy has been defeated as well, to leave this game to Eminence and Vindies. That final push in the north of the Tengus, killing off all of the Apollos, really sealing the deal there for our team on the right side, which of course means that once those Apollos are gone, those Tengus have free reign over any remaining cryocopters. I'm not sure if there were any left, but that will pretty much wrap it up for this game. A crazy action-packed match pretty much from start to finish, as this game got underway right away and did not let up for basically a second almost throughout the majority of that game. That will do it, though. Thank you all very much for watching, and I know a little bit rusty coming back from break, coming back from not casting for a long while, so please excuse the terrible casting habits that I have regrown and fallen back into, but going to be bringing some more content, of course. Stay tuned for that. Thank you very much for watching, and this is Sybert signing out.